What is the change now is the name. If I told it was in Serekunda Central now, you may have Serekunda and Bundum. Those who register in Bundum will go back to Bundum, their police station, and vote. But that area will no longer be called Serekunda Central, but Bundum Kakunda constituency. That's the whole thing. And what we did is we clustered the police stations that are around each other, near each other, to form the new constituency. And it goes like that to the bigger constituencies. And similarly, we will be conducting local government authority meetings from tomorrow to have on these things. So we are not resting on our laurels. We know what we should do, and we are doing it. This is one of just to launch the electoral side, the presidential election. So from now we'll be going out. We'll be rolling out.
Democratic Party. My first question is, under the current system, whether there is any possibility of omission of names of registered voters on the voters list? If
no,
so,
no. All biometric system, that person's name is there, automatically is there. It's 100% accurate.
okay.
It's biometric.
Then,
no.
Despite the opposition for all the parties have the opportunity to put in place against at registration centers during the time of the registration or supplementary registration, but they don't have the means to provide agents to all the registration centers during the course of this period. In case there are queries or concern about legibility of one citizenship to be registered. There's a tendency of non-Gambians being registered and they acquire a voter's card. The same community, you see somebody who is not a Gambian acquiring a voter's card, going to cast his or her vote, which a Gambian cannot do in any other country. Here, oppositions don't have the means to check, or parties don't have the means to check and prevent that non-citizen from voting. Don't you think IEC should not explore another means, not necessarily to rely on only revising code, whereas those kind of situations do prevail to ensure only Gambians vote? Despite you acquire the voter's card, you find ways and means of trying to deregister those kind of people who have acquired the Gambian voters card and they are non-citizens. Political parties can be given the due to raise those complaints to IEC to take action that we feel is for the best interest of the Gambians. And the second question is visit by local government authorities during election day. You go to many polling stations, the team of local government authorities, ranging from the governor, the chiefs, the alcalde, the seful, the MPs, go in a form of a team to visit the polling station. And here they are giving that consideration as if it's a right for them to be visiting the polling station in that manner. To me, that can seem to be intimidating and influencing voters in one way or the other to vote, of course, where we know they belong to, where their allegiance belong to, that is the ruling party. And what mechanism can IEC put in place to check that kind of things and stop it from happening? It has been happening, and it is actually affecting certain areas, especially the rural communities.
Thank you.
Let me finish, then you can.
Okay, I thought you told.
IEC always do that.
Yeah.
But there are times when campaign intensify, the problems do occur. They will say a particular candidate is en route, and certain candidate will be put at a hold until that particular candidate has to pass. It happened in 2006. Somewhere around Tabokoto, opposition convoy was stopped. because a particular candidate was claimed to be en route, and they were barricaded for about an hour or so. If proper reconciliation mechanism happen, it is my belief that those kind of things should not happen. And if it should happen, why should it be always at the detriment of the opposing side? The last point is, on this demarcation, I raised it earlier on at our last meeting, but I'm still not comfortable. The area that is affected, that is the Congo Central, divided into Brikama North and Brikama South. Specifically, there is an area in Brikama North, that is the new Brikama New Town. The vast areas of New Town are located in Brikama North. Unfortunately, I don't know whether 3 or 4 police stations, all just on the other side, and which happen to be in Brikama South. I want to suggest, and you said if where people are registered, that's where they should vote. It's not a question of where they are registered, it's just a question of location of the police registration center. Is it not necessary for IEC, since that area is divided into 2, for IEC also to relocate the police stations and find ways of trying to relocate? Half of it to be in one side and the other half to be in one side. Where your name reflects, then you can go there and vote. But it is going to be very unfair for that entire community, in fact the greater percentage of them, to go to a constituency where they don't belong to. That means they are going to cast for, it may not be seriously affecting the presidential election, but come the National Assembly, it's going to affect, because they'll be casting for somebody who should not be their mouthpiece at the National Assembly. So IEC should look into that.
Thank you. When it comes to the party agents, the IEC has no means whatsoever to fund party agents to be in all the polling stations. So each party should do their best to ensure that they have an agent in all the polling stations or registration centers. If there's any objection, it will be addressed there and on the spot. If not, we still have these judges that will be appointed to answer, to deal with those issues. But funding, we cannot provide. And anybody who sees anyone who you know is not a Gambian with a voter's card, it's your duty to report that person. But remember, the people that we engage are not working for us. They are just for us during that exercise only. We don't even know them. We put adverts in the papers that those who have had experience before in registering or during election exercises, they are then brought here, they are screened, they are trained, and then they are deployed. They are then deployed to the various polling stations. And for us, as I said, sir, and his assistant. And these people, they may go around, but they must also be at the head office to address any complaints, any queries that may arise from any of the areas that they are in control of. For the other issue, the local government authorities and some of these other big shots visiting various polling stations, Samujang will address that, as long as also on the issue of the itineraries and other things like that. They are the technicians. Okay. Thank you.
When we train our presiding officers, we told them to be firm and to do what exactly they are told to do. So we iterate that during the training, we don't encourage people to go in interest around the polling station, even in town, because that day is not a canvassing day, more or campaigning day. Again, in our meetings with the local authorities, we'll bring these things out. On the issue of the campaign itinerary, yes.
It is starting tomorrow, my yes. Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. On the issue of campaign itinerary, if you look at the form, we've been just developing, updating the campaign itinerary form. This time we have realized those issues. In fact, when you see village or settlement, we have put another column saying, tell us exactly in the village where you want that meeting to hold. And the route. Yes, I'm coming, sir. Tell us exactly, if I told in Serekunda, tell us whether it's Serekunda Ebony. And if I told it's Serekunda Ebony, tell us which route are you taking, the candidate. Are you coming through the Chokilstown or are you coming through the Serekunda Amos? We to avoid all those things, to avoid candidates being held up for unnecessary time. But again, here I must also say, when that is done, we always invite everybody to be on the table here. And you should bring your contributions, but do not allow us to seal the die or cast the die until everything is finished. You start coming back to us. So when you are doing your campaign itineraries, take your time to do it exactly as you want it to do it. And when you come, we reconcile, which is give and take here and there. The other thing on your popular...
Before you pause there,
okay.
Within the same constituency, isolate yours from the other party. So they will know that this party will be at this particular area at this time. So the other party will also know where it will be going. So that there will be no confusion at all.
Exactly, sir. When the campaign itineraries are reconciled, copies are circulated even to the media and to all the candidates and even to the security. So they will know. On the issue of the popular demarcation, still now on your new town, which should be in Combo, Birkama North or Birkama South. Like I said the last time here, Combo Central is divided into two. That is Birkama North and Birkama South. And unfortunately, Newtown, which is a Kabilo of its own, happened to fall, part of it in Birkama South and part of it in Birkama North. The issue is the original polling station was around Kababayosi. But then Alcalo moved it to his area and the people sat and watched. Until today, that problem is lingering. I have admitted here that that problem cannot be solved. Your suggestion is noted, yeah. But I'm finished. But I cannot go now into the system to pick name after name. Because when people register, they register according to their compound, not compound numbers. You know there is no compound number, proper compound number in here. Like Alaji Dawa, you say Dabakunda. Do I know how many Dabakundas are?
Area. A whole constituency. Yeah. You have some certain privileges. You can't just sit at home and say, I will not look at what's happening within my own area. This is just understandable. You cannot just sit down and say, well, I dare not move for fear of being sort of accused of favoring A or B. But again, they must not overdo it.
And they must not interfere in the process.
Exactly.
When they are abusing it, that's what they are telling you.
I think what we will, during our sensitization, this is an issue that we will talk about. Because it is not, if the process is going smoothly, there are certain things that we should avoid that will harm the process. And I think this is something we will try to address in our own diplomatic way. But like the chairman has said, if you are a governor of an area, it is also your responsibility to see that everything is going well within that area. And there is a certain privilege that we can give you, but there is a limit. You cannot interfere in the process of electioneering. So we will address this.
That gentleman at the end, yeah.
That candidates have equal airtime in the TV and the radio. And then the other one is, are there any plans for the local radio stations? Because we have a lot of FM radios in town, but they are not, broadcasting, the views, divergent views. Whether IEC have any plans to encourage them or to see to it that these FM stations are also given the opportunity, to relay the messages coming from different camps, so that at least everybody can be heard equally.
Thank you.
Teach, over the others, especially when it comes to the national television and radio. We have seen that, we are all witness to it. Are there any plans this time? Because I think 2016 is very different from any other election that happened here, because the youths have embraced the show now.
The IEC is then totally in charge by giving out permits for rallies or for meetings. Also, we are giving all parties equal time on the public radio and television, 100% equal time to all parties. Then it's our responsibility. But between now and then, we don't have any say about that. For the private media, that's out of our hands. That you have to approach them individually. We cannot do anything about that. But what we are in charge of during campaign period, we ensure that you are all given exactly equal time, countrywide.
I want to ask about the campaign period.
Pardon?
The campaign period.
Yes.
Because previous year it was like 2 weeks,
Yes.
14 days period.
Yes.
Why this sudden change to only have 10 days in campaign period?
No, it's 14 days.
No,
14 days.
excuse me.
It's 14 days.
10 to
Chairman, when the chairman was reading his statement, it was a slip of the tongue. It's from the 16 to 29. 16. Thank you for your notation. 16 to 29.
Before I comment, the last time we discussed, when the president moves its news, that's why he's always in the TV. We have to, that's what they say. Okay, my question is, the last time we discussed about this amendment and acts of the elections, you understand? But as the parties are stakeholders, and we need an awakening of inquiry with the ethics, the legality, and the norms of the IEC, we discussed about a complete principal copy to guide us, you understand? But we were promised that you will do something about it. As it is too near to the president election, I don't think it will be possible. But coming to the other elections, is it possible to get the principal copy of the amendment and the acts? Because that will be a guideline for the politicians and the parties. Because we cannot throw it on other areas that we don't know of and not doing it intentionally. So my question is it going to happen before the